A very long time ago, when I was a baby witch in Philadelphia, I came across a white witch. Now, she was from the European tradition, and I'm a priestess from the ancient Egyptian tradition. But she was telling me how she knew this author who had written all these amazing books. And this was the first one I found and purchased. It's called Pure Magic, and it is by Judika Illes. So I really loved her work, and I started to read it, and it was so much information about spirit animals and magic and herbs and minerals and oils and spells and how to interpret dreams, and it just really touched me, and I just thought it was a beautiful book. It had different cultures in it, all the way across the world, and it just was awesome. And I used it for a very long time, and I actually ended up giving it to another fledgling witch after I had learned all of the things that was inside of it. But luckily for me, she had also written other books. So I have a great deal of her work now, and I still use it. So the other day, I saw this deck, and I was like, what? And at first, I thought it was her deck. I thought she had created a deck because the title is the same. So I was like, oh, she must have created a deck. But I found out it isn't her deck. She actually did the foreword for it, and it was inspired by this book. So I was inspired by this book, and it looks like millions of other people as well, including Andrés, who created this deck. So I reached out to Judika, and I said, I want to review this deck. And she hooked me up. So this deck is a gift that was sent to me for the purposes of doing an honest review. So first thing I want to show you before I do the introduction is that it's embossed. Isn't that beautiful? The box and the book are embossed with this. And I thought that was so awesome. Isn't that great? If you want to read the back, oh, I got it upside down. If you want to read the back, I'll show it to you right here. You can screenshot it. Go. All right, so I'm going to do the introduction, and then I'm going to tell you my thoughts on this beautiful deck. My name is QueenAusetHeru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to someone else who might like it as well. Please drop us a positive comment in the comment section, and underneath this video, if you would, please, let me see, check out the section where I give you all my personal information in case you want to hit me up. I will also put a link at the very tippy top of where you can purchase this deck if you would like to. So now we're going to do our review. So when you first open it, the first thing you'll notice is that there are finger holes. Love that. Love the finger holes. This is the inside of the box. People always ask me about the finger holes because it is really difficult to get these decks out if you do not have finger holes. Trust me and believe it. At least at first anyway. Somebody told me it loosens up over time. So here we are. And I'll show you the other side. So back when I first bought that book, I was blessed enough to actually meet Judika on Facebook, and she is one of my Facebook friends. So that's how I was able to talk to her and get this copy gifted. Judika is a beautiful person, and I was like, ooh, this is going to be awesome. So let me show you. This is the illustrator of the cards. And this is the actual creator of the cards who was inspired by Judika's work. And that's how we get this awesome deck. Okay. Now on the inside of the booklet, you're going to see it's in full color. Beautiful booklet. Full color. Each card is in there. There's a spell. There's some wisdom that goes along with it. And I saw spreads. There's one. I saw spreads in the beginning of the book. So this book should be very, very useful. I strongly recommend using the guidebook. I always do, even though I know a lot of people tell me they don't want to. But I strongly recommend it. So, let me see something. I would like to show you the first card. Here we are. This is our first card, right? This is it. The first thing I wanted to do before I got into showing you the artwork is I wanted to take a look at the size. Careful. There we go. All right, so here's the size of the card, right? It is wider and taller than a standard size tarot card, which is pretty standard for an oracle deck. Most of them are bigger, and some of them are extremely bigger. Let's see. This is not too thin. It's thin, but not too thin. Great snapback. These should shuffle nice. Beautiful finish on them. This is the backs of each card. The first thing I noticed before I get into these is that they appear to be color coded, as you can see. And there are only 36 cards. So I know for a lot of people, they prefer more cards. So if that's going to be a problem for you, I would get it anyway. I'm going to be honest with you, because I've already looked at a few of these cards and they're so sweet. Wait till I show you. And I'm the kind of person who wants 44 or 46 cards in general. So I do think if they ever wanted to do another edition, that would be a very nice addition to what's already here. But they don't have to. Because as you can see, I really think these are the adequate amount. You have the number here at the top, and in the guidebook, they're in there by number. You have a keyword underneath here, or what I would call a title expression. And then you have the keywords underneath it. The cool part about this is, remember I talked about people who don't like to use the book? You really don't have to. Because if somebody got this card, it's pretty easy to see what it's talking about. You know, fortune, protection, skills, possessions. So it's pretty easy to kind of go, especially if you're using this deck. I would use this deck with a tarot deck, a tarot, like a witch's tarot, for example. They would pair very nicely together. Any witch's deck I would use it with, or a daily pull. So if you really didn't want to use the book, you don't have to. But I got a peek at it just now, and I would. You know me, I'm going to use it anyway. When I first started using decks, I did not read the guidebook. And if it's a little white book, that's fine. But some of these bigger books, some of these more in-depth books, especially oracle decks, have so much awesome information. So I would be, you know, it would be awful if I didn't at least encourage it. So from the rip, we're seeing diversity. I've already seen people of every, and there's not a lot of people in here. You're getting ready to see. It's not a lot of people, period. It's only a few. Most of this looks like flowers and herbs, things like that. Because when you look at the book, that's what the book is about. You see animals and things like that. And just a few, you know, actual humans, which is fine. And I like that. And the reason why I like that as a smart choice is because anybody can pick up this deck and see themselves in it. Anybody can pick up this deck and use it. So I think that's awesome. I'm feeling the art. It's very soft and beautiful. It's not a loud, you know, color palette, which I enjoy too. But I also enjoy this soft, beautiful palette. And I can see why they said it was inspired by her book, because you can see a lot of stuff here that she talks about in the book. And the artwork is very similar too. Similar energy to it. The colors, you know, all that is similar. She's beautiful. I love her color, her red hair, her skin color, her top. I love that. All of that is awesome. I love the backgrounds here. Great choices. And the colors, each card, remember we saw they were color coded. I like the softness of the colors. They're not overpowering. Mugwort. One time I got the bright idea to smoke mugwort. It's for dreams. I should have made tea out of it. Man, I passed out. It put me right to sleep. Like in moments, I was knocked out. I don't think that was a good idea. So I never did it again. But I was in my experimental phase back then. Oh, Secret Seance is awesome. I love these figures here. That's beautiful. Great job. The artwork is really beautiful. I'm feeling the artwork. I'm feeling the cards. I like the way they're smooth. They're not too glossy. You just got a little bit of light. As you can see when you put them here, you get a little bit of light right there. But if you tilt them right, you can take pictures of them and video. So that's good. Beautiful. I strongly suggest if you get this deck, and remember I'm going to put the link underneath this video, but if you get this deck, I strongly suggest taking a look at the book, Pure Magic, because this deck is going to give you a great deal of information, but of course Pure Magic is going to give you more. And especially if you're a baby witch, or if you want to learn how to do potions, or if you want to learn how to do you know, some of the different, you know, spells and incantations and things. It's white magic, so it's not like anything that is harmful at all. It's all good stuff, which is what I really like about her work. So if you would like to take a look at it, I strongly suggest it. Even if you're not a witch, even if you just want to learn how to use herbs and oils for healing, it could be beneficial. The stars. Beautiful stars. Look at that. It's pretty. The salamander. I think this one here is my favorite. I love the different colors of the people. I love the freeness, the nudity. Nudity indicates beauty and freedom to me. So I really love that. I love the way that they're dancing and kicking their legs up. Very happy vibration. I love her red hair. I just bought a doll. And I didn't have any red hair dolls, and I bought one with the brightest red hair. I actually had her custom done because her hair was blonde, and I had somebody take it out and put curly red in her hair. And I'm thinking, you know something, maybe I should name her Bridget. I think I will. I think that'll be her name. Great idea. Beautiful. Burning Man. There's a Burning Man celebration every year, and every year I want to go, and every year I don't. Because somebody told me it's in the desert, it's hot, there's nothing to drink, you gotta bring your own supplies, which of course is fine. But they were telling me like it's hot, there's no air conditioning, there's no hotel. I'm like, ooh, see, you just kind of roughing it, you know, which I like. I like the in concept. I like the idea of being in nature, because I've done a lot of rituals in nature, but it was only like an hour. You know, you out in the elements enjoying it for like an hour, hour and a half. I can't see myself out in the elements for days, you know, with no air conditioning. That's the part about it that I'm like, I don't know about that. But in theory, I think it's awesome. I think they build some large large man and like set it on fire, from what I understand. And a lot of people, you know, go. It's very popular. And I've, you know, heard about it forever. Awesome. I love this deck. I love the energy of it. I love the artwork of it. I love the card size of it. I love the card finish of it. I love it. The only thing, like I told you guys before, is only 36 cards. It's only 36 cards. I think it can stand to have about 8 to 10 more. I think that would be an awesome addition if they ever, you know, decide to do it again. All right, so we're going to get my favorite card from here. so we can see the guidebook. There we go. Now let's see. Yeah, you can see the glare. See the glare? It's not a lot though. It's just a little bit. I've seen a lot of cards use that finish. So we're going to find it. How easy is it to find it? Well, it's number 24 and they're all numbers. So all we have to do is go to 24. There we go. Bam, found it. All right, I'm going to read it to you guys. It says here, Voodoo roots, respect, survival, liberation, and freedom. Sometimes magic does not need to be extravagant. It can be incredibly simple. A cauldron or offering bowl can be a hole dug in the earth. Or a candle can be used to represent the power of the sun. The essence of magic has numerous styles and histories. Magic in English history is classical, specific, and structured, whereas the magic born from Africa's descendants is beautifully spontaneous, raw, fired with intensity, wildly tribalistic, and fused with intuitive dance and fetish. That's true. Magic from different sources teaches us different ways to connect, not only to the gods and the cosmos, but most importantly to each other. Voodoo plays an important role in the makeup of our world's magical history. Voodoo, hoodoo, confused? Well, although some people do use these words synonymously, they're not the same. Voodoo literally means spirit in the Fon language of West Africa. Voodoo is also used to distinguish the specific traditions that emerged in New Orleans following the immigration in the 19th century of many Haitian refugees. And hoodoo is American magic that is based largely on African practices and evolved in America's melting pot. This is also true. My great-grandmother practiced hoodoo. The history and ancestors of Voodoo at its true core remind us to be compassionate to people of all kinds and races, to not ignore another's power, and to give respect where respect is due. Magic, when used well, can be a miraculous tool. And for the fathers and mothers of this sacred traditional magic, it was a means for survival and the source of personal and familial liberation. Pure wisdom. You have been comfortable for far too long, and life is dealing you ways to step out of your comfort zone. You are called upon to see another with kinder eyes and relinquish the conditions of misguided fear. Everything is set with a plan in motion, and everyone has a part to play in the large cosmic game of life. When we set the campfire in the garden and sit down without our weapons, we begin to realize our commonalities with one another and see how pointless those weapons are. Only when we emphasize about the pain and suffering of the ancestors who fought and died through oppression, injustice, famine, war, slavery, and pain, can we finally see the grand imagination. We are brothers and sisters connected by souls. As long as there are others who still hold on to outdated fears and misjudgments, then people will be needed to fight for the minority and create a larger stand. Link your arms and take to the streets with your courage and breathe fire to ones who matter. That is beautiful. It's all about diversity, loving each other, healing. I love that. When I first saw it, the first thing I noticed was the different colors of skin, the diversity. So that's perfect. Now they give us a pure magic spell. Here's our spell. We all begin as nomadic and tribal communities, and without our indigenous ancestors, we would not be where we are today. Magical power has no tolerance for racism. and it is important to be aware of cultural history and pay homage and respect to people of color. This is really beautiful. Study the arts of indigenous magic, stories, and folklore. Learn the wisdom of native cultures and immerse yourself compassionately in the mind and heart of an elder. Take a 7-day glass candle to represent the elders of our past and present and light it consecutively over 7 nights. Pray and give power to their spirits and prepare small tokens of love and offering at this altar. Find ways to offer your time and services to indigenous community foundations in need of support. You won't be visited by an ancient African god or deity or be granted special powers, but you will be better than an ignorant person clouded by misjudgment and perpetuating fear. That is really beautiful. Wow. I'm feeling that. I'm really feeling that. So this is beautiful. So it was inspired by a beautiful woman. Judika is awesome. Judika Illes has big, beautiful hair. She's on Facebook. She's very friendly. So check her out. And if you want to purchase this awesome deck that was inspired by her work, underneath this video will be a link to where you can get an actual copy. I want to thank the publishing company for giving me a copy of this to review. It was a beautiful gift. And you guys come back soon because I have 13 decks that I am reviewing in the next couple of days. And I think that you will love all of them. I'll see you guys later.